Hi everyone! If there's one thing I love to talk about, it's the fact that I was born and raised on Aruba. And with that comes a bunch of special memories I just have to share with you. I was born on Aruba about 26 years ago, and as a kid I used to love running outside. I don't actually remember dragging my grandmother from one corner of the yard all the way to the next, but apparently I invented this game called Kore o Makore, which literally means run, grandmother run. So we used to be in the yard and I would count to 3 and then I would run and expect my grandmother to run behind me and I would scream Kore o Makore. So that's literally all the game was. We had this big open yard where I would not only drag my grandmother around, but I also used to drag around shopping bags. Yeah, I already liked shopping at that age. Aruba looked completely different when I was younger. At 2 years old, the Louis Vuitton that we have right now actually used to be a McDonald's, and they had a Ronald McDonald statue, and I would want to take pictures there all the time. So we would go there sometimes and actually grab like an ice cream or some French fries, and then we would drive to the airport just to see planes take off and land. It seriously used to be the most beautiful sight. I was so obsessed with traveling when I was younger. Not anymore, because now I have this fear of flying that just developed out of nowhere. But I really loved just going and watching the planes land and take off. And seriously, I still love it to this day, just not the flying part. I was always into dancing, and from what I can recall, I was pretty talented, if I do say so myself. I used to go to this dance school called MC4 for a little time. I can't remember how long exactly, but we used to dance at the Bombini Festival at Fort Sightmund, which they still have that to this day, like all these folklore dances, dancing to like typical carnival music that we have here on the island. And there was this one time that I actually got off the stage a lot earlier than I was supposed to. They actually do like this little routine, or at least they used to do this little routine where we would dance with like the tourists that came to watch the show. And one time I actually got off the stage a little too early, and I remember being so humiliated that I think I just grabbed someone and start dancing and then like put them back to sit at their seat, and I went up the stage and then I continued the dance routine. And then after we went to get the tourists, I was so humiliated. I think that was like one of the only times that I actually messed up a dance. One of my core memories is the day that the Natural Bridge collapsed. It collapsed on the 2nd of September in 2005, and I remember waking up pretty early because it was a Friday, so we had to go to school. But I don't actually remember what it was like being in school, like knowing the news, you know what I mean? I don't remember talking about it or any of that, but I do remember after school, we took a drive and we went to the Natural Bridge, and it was so crowded. Obviously, everyone wanted to see the way that it looked and what had happened. We do have a bunch of like smaller natural bridges around Aruba, but that one was, if I'm not mistaken, that one is the biggest one, or was the biggest one that we had, and it was just so beautiful, so breathtaking. It's still beautiful now to this day, but it's just a different kind of beauty. Like, it's not exactly the same as it looked, you know what I mean? The way that the arch used to look and the way that the water would come to the shore was just, it was amazing. I have pictures there from when I was just born, like I was a couple of days old. I have pictures there with every single family member that used to come on vacation, because we always used to go to Natural Bridge. We still do that to this day. We go everywhere with everyone that comes on vacation. So I have a bunch of pictures there. I'm not sure how it collapsed though, so that's something I might have to look into. So I have this obsession with Christmas, and for a long time I didn't really understand where my obsession for Christmas came from, but doing like a deep dive like into myself and really trying to understand where it came from, I am convinced that this Christmas obsession that I have started when I was 7 months old. My first ever Christmas, I actually spent it on Aruba, and my parents used to drive around all over Aruba just to look at the beautiful lights. People used to decorate their house like crazy, like all the way extra and out there. And we actually also went to Castilus, which is a like literal translation House of Lights. So it's a house that was built around 30 years ago, specifically for the holidays, that they decorate completely in ornaments and in Christmas lights. And then they have a bunch of Christmas kind of food that we like to eat, like ayaka. I used to like it more when I was younger, but now I don't really like ayaka like that. Don't hate me. We would take pictures and listen to live music like gaita, and it was just like this very homey and cozy feel that I always used to get whenever we would go to Castiluz. So I'm convinced that's where the Christmas obsession comes from. I remember waking up in the morning after a heavy storm, and my dad would always turn the radio on. So like even on days that it wasn't raining, but especially on days that it did rain, because it was kind of like this custom, like not really a fact, but like kind of a fact, that when it used to rain super hard, school would get canceled. And I kid you not, 80 to 95% of the time, school would get canceled on days that like it stormed really heavy. And when I say storm, it probably sounds like it's only when it was a storm. Also when it rained really hard, like if it was just like a lot of rain, school would get canceled. And it doesn't rain very often on Aruba. So let's say like 3 to like 4 hours after school getting canceled, we would literally be able to go outside, sun is shining, and just enjoy a day at home. There are literally so many memories that I could share with you from growing up on Aruba. So let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a part 2 of my teenage years growing up on Aruba. Also, I'm very interested to know a little bit about you. Where did you grow up, and what are some of your favorite memories? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I was supposed to wave. I don't know where the snow obsession comes from. Okay, no, I know where that comes from. That comes from movies. No, that was terrible, Naomi. That's not it, right? Okay. This is, I don't know, and I don't feel like it working out. Because I don't want it to be too much like, let's share in the comments, let's share in the comments. Rambling, completely rambling. Do you drag someone around the place? Yeah, drag around Louis Vuitton. Because it sounds stupid if I say it properly. Maybe I shouldn't say it so fast. Hi everyone. If there's one thing, like breathe.